All right, now we are done with the watercolor, and we're going to start to make it look like this, adding that punch and that drama and those contrasts and those gradations and some of those visual effects of outlining and overlapping, and just give it a lot more power. These two are, that one's done. This one's not quite done because I'm adding some ink outlines around here. This one you can really see kind of the before and after of the effects that we can create. Okay, the inside of the eye is basically done. The eyelashes on this side over here are pretty much done. We'll go over all that. But this one really does show a nice little before and after. If you notice, these are not on the board anymore. We're no longer painting. So when you take your painting off the board, remember, as I always say, tear the tape, take the tape off, pulling away from the painting so it does not tear the painting at all. All right, and get rid of that. You want to make sure to work on a nice hard surface. We're going to use colored pencil, and for the most part, just colored pencil and ink. We're going to save the bigger Sharpie for the eyelashes. I think that's the best place to kind of save a little time there. Otherwise, we're just going to use watercolor and ink. And I'm just going to describe a few things and barely do a little bit. Then I'm going to put it on time lapse for about half an hour, put on some music here at my desk, and go for it for a little while so you can see it make some progress. A good thing to do is to start with an ink pen and start just outlining some stuff. And anytime you see a contrast between dark and light, that's a good time to do a little bit of outlining. And you don't have to outline everything everywhere. And I'll kind of put more of a finished sample up here occasionally. So let's just say I put one there. Now, recently I just noticed, check this out. If you miss your outline, see that little light streak right there? Let me get up close. See that little light streak right there? It kind of gives it like, it looks like a highlight on the edge of that drip. That I intentionally missed my outline. I didn't let it follow the green. Down here too, I let the outline separate a little bit right there. I think that's a pretty cool little feature. And it's just so simple. You just miss it for a little while. So I could come around here, and the idea behind these outlines, I think they're going to look a lot better when you let them be a little bit dynamic. Change the weight, the heaviness of your outline once in a while. Let your line get a little bit thicker and thinner. Don't go crazy on that, just a little bit thicker and thinner. So you can see right here, again, I'll get close. A little bit of a difference between the thick and thin outline. So I could go around this one. Your outline could just fade away if you wanted it to, some, here and there. Especially if the color that you're kind of following also kind of just fades off. Let's see, where can I miss my outline? Let's do one right here. So if I was going to do some outlining right here, let me get in there. If I was going to do some outlining right here, I could go right on the edge of this watercolor patch. Let's connect it over here. See, I missed right there. So I'm just going to kind of fill it in. Okay, then as I come around here, I'm just going to go outside of it a little bit right there. So, and I can put some colored pencil right there to make that little edge right there stand out even more. As a matter of fact, that's what I'll do. Let's get some violet or blue violet. There's some violet. So I'm going to just add a little bit of violet right there just to make that little bit of a highlight stand out a little bit more. And this is something that you would do anyway. Anytime you see a natural occurring contrast, and look at this, what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it just stay a little bit lighter right there. those little light edges many times look like they're kind of lifted off. Like it's almost like, look at my fingertips. When they enter the light, they get light right there. And I'm just going to let this fade away. Maybe let it wrap around here a little bit and just kind of filter away right there. And down here, let it just go away. The white comes in handy sometimes just to help a little bit of blending. The white comes in really handy for other stuff too. Let's see what the white does here. I want to let that little lighter area be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to push kind of hard with the white. And it did. It brought it out a little bit more. That was kind of nice. That happens on the other samples that are on Google Classroom. I'm just going to do a little bit, maybe over here and a little bit down here in this little 30-minute time lapse. Then I will do a separate little video on how to do inside the eye and the eyelashes. And I'll do some of that in time lapse as well, so it doesn't take so long. All right, here we go. All right. Well, that was 30 minutes of careful work. And as you can see, I try to capture some of those outlines around some of the naturally occurring shapes that happen. Sometimes I kind of made some stuff up inside here with the colored pencil. You can see that the weight of my ink outline varies a little bit. Sometimes if it looks like a drip, I'll put a little extra piece right down there to kind of make it look like a shadow. And with a little bit of a lighter edge, sometimes it looks like it pops up like a drip. I did quite a bit of the white around the edge, right up next to the ink and outside some of the color. Did quite a bit of that. This is a really good idea. If you can kind of get a sense of some of these drips going underneath and behind other drips, I think that's a pretty neat effect to get. As well as some of these, this little white highlight right here looks like it kind of floats in front of that darker area right behind it. Anyway, that's about how to do that. And like I had some fun down here. I had no idea what to do with that until I got there. I kind of made each one of these repeat that little thicker part right there at that arc. I think that kind of turned out like a neat little effect. It looks like a little drop shadow. All right, so you're going to finish that whole thing, and we'll talk about it more in class. And like I said, the next video, I'll do a little work in the eye.